Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Jill Renee Feeler, and this is the Premium Members Group October 2023 message. Let's take a couple nice deep breaths. Okay. With your eyes closed, ideally, I'd like you to visualize a source of light and whatever you envision as like the perfect light that would just be like beckoning you, like, come here right now, come here, like the best hug ever. Imagine that kind of light behind your eyeballs. Okay, good. And now that light is sort of asking you to follow it down your throat. And that's just like a slide. My throat is tickly as I say that. That's funny. And just follow that light, and it's guiding you down to your heart. There we go. Some of you are stopping at the heart. That's totally fine. Mine is going down further to the gut, which is where my claircognizance and clairsentience is. So if you're going deeper into kind of the hominess of your inner core, that's great too. You stop wherever you want to stop. Okay, beautiful. Now just envision that wherever you got off that slide, that it feels just absolutely like the homiest sense of home within yourself, within your physicality, within your energy field. And it is just right there for you, almost like maybe you forgot it was there. Perfect. Okay. And just enjoy the sensation. And if you're not feeling at home yet, just notice maybe how quiet you feel, how you're just far enough away from the chatter of your brain to have a sense of self that is beyond your brain. And that can feel like heaven on earth right there. Very good. Okay, nice deep breath again. Okay, good. Now, some of you may have only had dreams of like a cloud bed or a cloud chair, but they're all around you just for your enjoyment and convenience. And it feels very otherworldly to sort of flop into a cloud chair, or like a kid when you run in your bedroom and you jump on your bed, like jumping onto a cloud bed. But it is like a hug. It's like the hug of furniture. So enjoy that. Oh, it's illuminated. So the clouds that we're sitting or lying on have this just dreamy sort of color changing sort of beauty to it. Some of ours are just like a golden glow, like the perfect sunset or a gorgeous sunrise. Some of ours have I noticed some lightning bolts and some claps of thunder going on, kind of a Zeus kind of cloud. you sparky types of folks. Okay, perfect. That's great. Okay, another nice calming breath here. Okay, for those of you that don't want to feel alone, who do you want to invite into your cloud with you? The cloud within yourself. You can invite the voice and the love and the spirit presence, the soulful presence of a loved one that you miss, maybe even one that's still in bodysuit. They're still technically physically alive, but you just haven't seen them in a while. You can invite them into this space as well. Okay, good. There we go. As much as possible, imagine what it feels like to have absolutely everything you need. Absolutely everything. including information, including a sense of truth and a sense of insight and knowledge and whatever you want, intuition. Okay, good. And that you have all of that at this range of yourself that you're experiencing right now. Notice how that sense of having everything you need doesn't feel like a person that's trying to shop in the grocery store without a grocery cart. It doesn't feel like it's like the stuff, the knowledge, the wisdom is like spilling out of you or gushing out of your mouth or your brain or your heart. It's all intact. It's presence. It's the type of shopping where you don't need a shopping cart. It's just visual, like going through an art gallery where you're just visually taking it all in, and that's the only expectation. There we go. That's what having everything you need feels like. And some of your brains are reflecting on that's it. I thought it would feel like I had too much to carry and I had to spit it out of me. Nope. No, because it didn't come off the shelf. It was handed to you from within. There's room for all of that beyond space and time. It can just be handed to you whenever you need it, whenever you want it, whenever you're open to it. Oh yeah. Okay, the brain just got a big aha there. I love that. Okay, now just let your physical body relax in the space. Wherever you hold tension, just really almost like letting go of the rubber band, letting go of the like a crazy hose that the water's gushing out. Just let it go. Just lay it down. There you go. All those subtle fibers in your being that you hold tight in stress or anxiety or uncertainty. Just really relaxed right there. There you go. Perfect. Good job. Yeah. Wherever you have tightness and tension, just focus on just literally dropping it on the ground, just letting it go. That tension, that stress in you, it feels like it's doing a job. It feels like it's helping you by holding itself so tight. And it's so beautiful. It wants to help. Oh, can you feel the compassion in that? It's trying to help you. It doesn't maybe know how, maybe it's not that great at it, but its intention in the tension pun is to be helpful to you. It wants to serve you. So now let's give it better instructions, shall we? Okay, so I'll offer these words. You can say whatever words you want to. You can repeat mine. I recognize your love for me and you as a part of my physical system. Love me, want what's best for me. Maybe see that I'm struggling and you just want to help. But you getting tight and holding things in that manner actually causes me pain. And it causes a lot of other problems. So I love that you want to help me. But one way that you can help me is by not getting tense, by not getting tight, just by staying all loosey-goosey. And maybe as a consciousness, it's almost like you'd be saying, she's got this, he's got this. May not look like it right now, but I'm just going to believe in my me. And I'm going to say all loosey-goosey for her, because that will be the most helpful. She'll be the most reflexive, and he'll be the most insightful and relaxed and chill. And that's good. We're our best when we're that way. We don't make the best decisions when we're all tense and tight. And there we go. Okay. And now you can give it a hug. Thank you. And you may physically just want to let that part of you just kind of hang. You guys that have been around long enough know it's my shoulders and my neck. It's not my hip flexors or my TI band or whatever that's called for me. It's all up here. There we go. So while you are all relaxing here, enjoying your body and how much it loves you and how much it wants to support you and be there for you, we have some things we want to offer you today, just for consideration. You all are doing such an absolutely fabulous job. We want to acknowledge something, and we hope that this is helpful. Some of us have never been in the bodysuit for a full journey. Archangel Gabriel is part of this message, and he has never been all the way in the bodysuit, especially for an entire lifetime. He's here to help, but does not prefer that experience. I want to speak myself here. I don't say that in a tone of, what were you thinking? I say that in the tone of, wow, you are brave. You are special. You are incredible. And you must believe in spirit and believe in you in a way that is trusting and faith-based and utterly connected in a way that I respect and I admire. So when I look at you, even when you are struggling and not sure what you're going to do and have no idea how you're getting through something you know you need to get through, I look at you with only love and only a sense of awe and support and wanting to be there for you, cheering you on and helping you look to yourself. What do you want to do next? What do you think might go well? What do you feel in your bones or in your gut or in your heart or even in your brain? What do you feel might be the best scenario to consider and explore? There we go. Okay, that was beautiful. Good job, all of you. Okay. We're debating about going into all the ways that your journeys are so different than the timelines that we were in. From a number of people on the planet, for a number of beings, even like pets on the planet, it's a completely different experience from the technology that you guys experience. It is harder than ever in so many ways for you to feel yourself. Let's just repeat that. It is harder than ever from our observation for you to feel yourself. Okay. Wow. So some of you haven't identified this part of maybe why you like the experiences that we do with you and Jill, but part of it is probably that, because that is a big part of what we do with our Jill, is wanting you to feel you while we talk and do other things and have Jill smile and giggle and cry and all these things to help the rest of you feel connected to another human like it is used to doing, while also helping make room and guide you to feel you. Not for what it will tell you, but for what it feels like. Because 99.9% of the stress and the anxiety and the uncertainty you experience is not because of how you feel. It's how you feel others feeling. You are so connected and so caring and so aware and so compassionate in such godly ways about other people. And that is beautiful. That says so much about you, right? But maybe it is like those fibers in your body that just get too tight in the process, that it's missing a new method. It's missing a new approach and sense of self in order to relax and allow this godliness that you are to just completely rock your life and float your boat and be let loose in the world. To the human, it is the most difficult to comprehend how to be the part of godliness that is so much a part of, I love you and I can't fix this for you. I care about you more than you can ever imagine. And I can't fix what is ailing you right now. And I will love you no matter what you need, no matter what you have or don't have, no matter how things go or don't go. My ability as godly energy to love you may actually make a difference in how you experience you throughout whatever happens next and amidst what is happening now. There is just something about that godly energy that you are, that really all life is and can't not be. It just doesn't always look that way in the human body suits or in other physical suits containers. There is just something about godly energy getting into a bodysuit, sensing it has capabilities, sensing there are needs, and just feeling like those, wherever you had that tension, like, I'm going to help. I can help this system. And it is overconfident. It can be misguided. It can be confused. It can be almost not overly helpful, because that's probably not possible, but overly certain that what it thinks is needed is actually like what will address whatever issue it is. It just feels, and we know this from our experiences in humanness as well. Thank you, Mary. There's something about all of that human equipment that just makes you feel like you really can change the world. Like you really can fix the most serious problem that another has. There is something about the divinity, and you feel the hopefulness of God, and the competence of this incredible bodysuit that is, you, as you know it, working so well and capable of so much. There's just something about that that's like, let me at this problem. I know we can fix this. Together we can fix this. Or we're just one great idea away from this whole thing being, this whole, mess just being a distant memory. And it's perfect that way. It is such a design feature that we all put in, you guys included, into that human bodysuit. There's no other form of life that does that, you guys. There just isn't. It is the epitome of the creator energy of God. That's just like, well, somebody's got to do something. So we need bodies to be somebody to do something. Here you are, trying to do something. And as we've offered before, shared before, especially from within the human bodysuit, it rarely and sometimes never feels like enough. And that is so hard. So we do want to remind you today that you've already done so much. We know that to that bodysuit that we were just talking about, it never feels like enough to just care about a problem, to just see someone that is experiencing difficulty, to be loving, to be kind, to be compassionate, to be savvy, to be competent, all of the godliness that so many of you are without even effort, right? There's no bundling it around in the grocery store. Oh, I don't have enough place to put this. You embody it, literally. Compassion, grace, witness, right? All of it. There are so many ways of godliness that you literally embody without thinking, without trying, without one single mantra. It's just you. So I know when I say this, that part of your bodysuit will deflect, ignore, deny. But you've already done more than enough to justify all of the uncertainty and possible pain and hurt that you've experienced by being in your bodysuit. From your soulfulness perspective, it was worth it long ago. But to part of you, there is never enough reward or satisfaction or sense of making a difference to justify the pain and hurt that you feel and the pain and the hurt that you see. I know. But the reason that we want to remind you, there's probably many, I have mine as Mother Mary. The reason I want to remind you today is because it makes it easier to be that godliness if at least a part of you can remember that was the main goal for getting there and being you and getting somebody to begin with. The human system overcomplicates it. Not everybody's. Sometimes we wish somebody would make their system a little more complicated so they'd be a little more self-reliant and a little bit more self-believing and committed to their own sense of resolution and well-being and all those things, okay? But if just even a sliver of you can take away from this experience that you never stopped measuring up by the most important standards you can ever imagine. And all the other parts of you that you may want to prove something to or make a bigger difference or make a mark on this world or really, really have a more tangible effect on someone else's well-being, pain, resolution, etc. ease their pain, that kind of thing. That's a metric that we don't tend to use because we do have a different perspective of your reality. There we go. Okay. Wow. Okay. All right. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Mama. Okay, we're figuring out what this next part is while you enjoy your cloud-based furniture, pretending you are the Greek gods and goddesses resting on the clouds. Not too far from the truth, actually. Okay. Okay, hang on a second. I'm gonna get a water and so forth. Whew. Okay. Let's see how we want to do this. This next part is very deep and very important. Okay. All right, Gabriel here. That human operating system that Mother Mary was talking about, it has a way of rationalizing things in a way that make the main goal hidden. Okay. He just looked at me and he said, "You should get in your cloud chair too, Jill. This may take a bit." Okay, I'll get comfy. Whew. Okay. Whew. Okay. So there's this impression of God that is currently very common in your collective timeline. That is, when God is here, all of the problems will be fixed. When Jesus returns, or any other Messiah kind of figure is back on the planet, then we won't have this pain and suffering. So that is a characterization of God, that the presence of pain and suffering is the absence of God. And the absence of God would mean the absence of God's love, and the absence of God's wisdom, and the absence of God's grace and compassion, and all the other godly attributes that anyone can think of. So let's just ask you to take that whole idea, that whole impression of God, and let's just put it like in a beautiful gift box, the most carefully designed, one of those gifts where the packaging was almost as special as the incredible present inside. That kind of box. Okay, let's put that in that box. It's got the fancy lid that doesn't have any tape. There's nothing to cut. It just sits right on it like in a movie. Okay, good. So just put whatever you feel like that is. It could be a blob. It could be an orb. It could be a crystal bowl, whatever that is. And just put it in that box. It's perfectly designed for it, just like it would be. And put the lid on it and just push it to the side. Because this, what we're going to share with you today and offer with you today, can't fit in that system. It isn't the opposite of it. It just doesn't go together. So that one runs parallel, like on the highway. That's a separate direction of everything. Choices, separate direction of motivation, separate direction of goals and expected outcomes and actions and even choices, which I already said. Okay, perfect. It's over there. Okay. Another lane of the highway over here. How about the impression of God? That God's love and God's caring and God's grace has never left your reality and can't be absent from any timeline. It is embedded in all of the systems. Part of the reason it doesn't feel that way is because of that other system. It's because of that other direction of the highway going completely to somewhere else. And isn't it a corollary that so many of the organized religions and non-organized belief systems sort of fit within that other, they kind of head on that same direction of that freeway? Sort of like, oh yeah, we're in the wait mode. We're waiting for God. We're just waiting. So I'll take care of ourselves as much as we can because God's not here, and isn't it obvious? So we're going to wait because God isn't this, and that means God isn't me, and God isn't you, and we are on our own without God. So everybody do your best, right? Wow, those are low expectations. Isn't it fascinating and completely unsurprising that most miracles that have been documented have been in the presence of at least somebody that had the faith of something that is godly and was bigger than the problem, that did change the trajectory of that outcome. It only takes one being to be open to the grace of God, to be open to the miracle, to be open to transcendence that helps allow it to happen. It can happen on its own. It kind of does happen on its own all the time. When you look at I've got a throat issue I'm getting through right now. Hang on. Must be big. I'm being rewired in the process. Okay. Okay. So let's add more color to the other thing that doesn't need a box. Okay. the one going in the direction that we're hoping you guys notice you're on more often. Because in that other direction, there is no waiting. There is no false prophecy of some wizard on the end of a yellow brick road. The Wizard of Oz is such a great movie for explaining and portraying literally that metaphor of the false sense of hope. And then Dorothy and the lion and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow all realizing they had it all along. This is that. All life has all it needs in terms of the godliness. And the false prophecy says, I know what that's supposed to look like. If God were truly present, then it would look like this. It would be like that. It would operate like that. It surely wouldn't have pain, suffering, inadequacy, failures, lack of success, blah, 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 presence of Wetiko. It wouldn't have any of that. So clearly we're waiting. You see, we don't have the evidence yet. God's not here. That false prophecy creates a stain in the brain and on the eyes and all the five human senses of what godliness looks like and what God's presence is in your timeline, in your life, in each other, in yourself. Okay. So the most difficult part of staying away from that other lane, that other direction of problems and false impressions of God, the hardest part of getting away from it is the promise of it is so freaking good. The promise of it is a version of heaven on earth where there is no suffering to see because it doesn't exist. And one could argue that the story of Earth and the model of time space was badly conceived and badly written and would have never been picked up by Hollywood. There is a problematic nature to the story of that if God were present, why wouldn't it just be obvious in an idealized utopian way? Why would we ever create a dystopia and bring our godliness into it? Why would we do that? We didn't intend for it to be a dystopia. It isn't a dystopia for everybody. For some people, it is utopian on the inside. Of course, we would love for everyone to remember the godliness they are on the inside so that they can be more of that, feel more of that, receive more of that from the inside out, no matter what they didn't get from parents or society or a horrible boss or a mean child or whatever, that they would be more resilient in their system, right? And be less damaged by outside forces. And yet there is this, yeah, okay. I'm going to be very blunt with this. We could theorize about what went wrong with the story, and the writing / creating of Earth and humanity and all life on Earth. We could easily pick apart what went wrong. And yet, here's the blunt ripping of the Band-Aid part. It is what it is. And you folks, in a message like this, you bodies, you some bodies, have made this important and sometimes painful decision to go all the way in to your reality with your own bodysuit that you'll be responsible for taking care of. That alone is a full-time job, as many of you are very well aware of. And it seems that way as you get older. It's like, it's all DIY. It runs itself until it doesn't. And then it's like, I don't have time to do what I really want to do. This has become a full-time job, this system. It's because it's getting closer to its end of life, you guys. That should not be a surprise if you really look at it that way from a non-idealized perspective. Okay. So this whole, if there's a mantra here, it is what it is. And I'll always do my best. And I'll always be loving, including to myself, as easily as it is for me to love others. And any other attributes of godliness that I am, I will not let get blocked by any of the trying to change what is, right? I will let my godliness flow freely amidst all the other ways that I am me, no matter what job I have or don't have, no matter how much money I have or how much money I don't have, no matter what my body feels like today or doesn't feel like today, no matter what I'm worried about or not at all very carefree about, no matter what I want to see in the world, no matter what I actually see in the world, that I will be the godliness I am, no matter what. And I will let that be as effortless as it is. And I will resist overthinking it. I will say bullshit to my brain, any instance of my brain saying, oh, you're waiting. You can't just be that. This is the waiting period. You're waiting for blah, 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 whatever. That if your brain starts going into that box again, you can say as a bigger part of you to your brain, oh, no, I'm not on that. I'm not on that lane of traffic. I brought it with me. And so did everyone. They just don't know it. And that deprives them and it deprives me. But I will not deprive me or anyone in my reality vicinity of the godliness I am, because I brought it, literally. And watch your brain just like break. Because if your brain is regularly operating from the systems of what we have in that really pretty box off to the side, the brain keeps going like a sci-fi movie with the robot short circuiting. So just be there to give your brain a hug, just like we gave help the tension, relax. Like, it's okay. And maybe it is okay if it's in a condescending way, especially if your brain gets too strong and too overconfident with things that you're sort of patting on the head going, oh, I see you don't understand. It's okay. Just sit by and watch while I be the love I am, while I embody the grace I am. Well, I feel the compassion and I let others acknowledge the compassionate, caring, grace-filled, wise, insightful presence of godliness that I am, no matter what I'm doing or no matter what I'm not doing. It's like saying to the brain, it's okay if you don't get it. I don't need you to get it. to be my godly energy. I was my godly energy before I ever had a system that needed a brain. And I will be my godly energy long after this brain is no longer a running machine as part of my bodysuit. There we go. I just felt our brains go brain sufficiently humbled. Thank you. Maybe a little harsh, maybe a little too blunt there, Gabriel. But now the hierarchy is better established. And some of your brains needed that bluntness / rudeness. Okay. Okay. So any of you that are problem solvers, that are giving it your all to solve some really important problems of your timeline, we wouldn't even think about discouraging you. You're allowing that mission, that experience, that passion to be in a container for your godliness. We just want to make sure you're not forgetting that that isn't the container of that passion project or that goal or objective for society or for a certain community. That container, that passion isn't your godliness. It's what you're putting into the passion that's your godliness. And you can put that same godliness into something that's easier if you ever wanted to, like gardening, which maybe isn't so easy. That could be a full-time job, right? Just ask the farmers and the full-time gardeners. And maybe that's partly the hardness about your reality, is that in various moments, everything feels hard. Things that should not feel hard are hard. And it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. So please stop being so hard on yourself. Please, in replacement of being hard on yourself, be the grace, be the compassion, be the love, be the comfort that you probably so regularly give others, but you just are very stubborn sometimes and you will not let it in to your experience, to your journey, to what is hard for you. Please stop doing that. Please put that pattern in that other box. It's a really pretty box. It will feel very at home. They don't have cloud furniture, I'm sorry, but it's nice in there. Okay, there we go. How many of you feel buoyancy? I mean, Jill just felt it like a circus tent just went up, and like her heart is the main beam of the circus, and there's no cages in my circus. There's no whips, no collars, just love. Okay, very good. Just feel that buoyancy, feel that bigness, feel that. And you may feel some props, like the circus tent doesn't normally in this reality up on its own. Normally it has some poles and pulleys and ropes and some other stuff just to keep the tent up. It may feel like that for a while. It may feel a bit artificial, and that's okay. As long as you feel the bigness and the buoyancy, that gives you more room to be the godly energy that you truly are and can't not be, regardless of what your brain has to say about that. Just your brain is not the authority on this, and don't ask it to be. Okay. Oh my goodness. That feels so good. I squeaked in my chair. I'm sorry. Oh, Mary, thank you so much. Gabriel, brother, you just always bring it. Thank you. Thank you. Can you say thank you to yourself? Close your eyes, put your hand, pat yourself wherever you want to, just a really nice, loving pat. Good job. Thank you. Say thank you to yourself. Because if we're not letting our godliness be easy, then we are making everything else that's already hard, harder. Okay. For some reason, I just have on my heart this example of somebody that is not like a named person, but if there is a somebody, and there probably is a somebody in a group like this that is deeply passionate about something that is very heartbreaking, right? Let's take the example of those without homes, traditionally called homelessness. I hope that term's not offensive to anybody, but that's what I want to offer in this example. I can imagine there's a lot of kind of tangible details regarding a passion project related to trying to address homelessness and the unhoused. And I can imagine it would be very easy to, in the midst of like designing something or planning something or planning a food bank, food pantry sort of situation, I can imagine it would be easy to get so consumed in the details of the mechanics of it that it's almost like there's the forgotten opportunity to pause and just say out loud to anyone else that's involved in this project, let's just make sure they feel seen and loved, and that we care, and that we don't want them to hurt. That lasts longer than a meal, you guys. That lasts longer than a warm bed and a roof over your head. And that's not at all to diminish the actual pain and hurt that is involved, and insecurity, right? Involved in that group, right? That population, those members of society, right? Some of their problems feel too big to solve. When you include mental illness and addiction, that is a part of many, but not all, in those communities, it can feel just so daunting, right? But the dauntlessness is your godliness. There we go. And remember, we've talked about this before, even God doesn't know how to fix all of the problems in our reality. Even God doesn't know how it will go. For an individual within a community or a group that you're concerned about, even God doesn't know how it will go for them individually or as a group. So us pretending that we know how it can end up and that we know how to get there, we deserve a lot of humility and a lot of grace ourselves in those projects. And it's not that it's not that God and our godliness doesn't want to solve those problems. It's that it sees the bigger picture and goes, oh, this reality, this no endlessness of caring. No, there's no expiration date on caring about it or being concerned about it. It's a different level of, let's just say, understanding of that may never be solved as fully as we want it to be, or it may not even get better. It may actually get worse. Now we just got real. As our godliness, we have seen many, many things that we wanted problems to go away. We saw the problems get bigger. So as our godliness, that's why it's so important to also prioritize, and maybe even prioritize higher. Yes, let's do the mechanics of what we can, but let's never leave out that the biggest opportunity a group like this has, these members that would show up to something like this and hear and receive and co-create something like this, never leave out the godliness you are from any of those experiences. There we go. Wow. Okay. That was the Band-Aid Gabriel was trying to get to, and he waited till the end. It may not get better. It may get worse. Yeah. Doesn't mean we don't try. And why would we? That's not who we are. Okay, good. All right. Whoa. Okay. Whew. Oh my goodness. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Oh, thank you to all of you. Thank you to all of our teams. Thank you to all of the godliness that we are. So good. I'm so grateful. Ooh, thank you. Okay. Gonna call it a wrap. Big hugs to you guys. I'm okay with you guys sharing this one. I won't post it as far as I know. I don't imagine posting it anywhere like on my YouTube channel or something like that. I guess I could though. Just running right into my little Jill layers there. Yes, I do. Okay, so